Welcome to Investing and Trading Live. My name is Scott Watley, and we are so thankful you are with us. Our show is brought to you by Online Trading Academy here in Denver. Always good to have the president of online trading with us, and that is Josh Lilquist. Josh, welcome to your show, sir. How are
Hey,
you?
I like talking about the markets here. It's frigid outside, but the stock market is hot, so it's always a great time
Wow.
talking about the markets.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, it's always interesting just to get your market updates and what you've seen over the last, few weeks, what kind of where we are now. So tell
Yeah,
us about it.
I mean, well, we talked a little bit about it last week with the CPI report that stocks kind of gapped up, and then the Fed came in, and their goal over the last several months here has been to cool the economy. They raised interest rates last week, up another 0.5%, but we had a pretty big drop over the last after that. I mean, so when stocks gapped up after that CPI report, they actually went down about 7%. I mean, think about that, Scott. 7% roughly in about 5 days. And so we're
Wow.
seeing some big volatility again, which is huge opportunity for us as traders and investors. So one of the things that we really focus on the show here, but also at Online Trading Academy, is how to identify these turning points in the markets. I think if you listen to the show in the past few weeks here, we talked about a supply zone in the S&P 500 where we're looking at selling pressure coming in, and that's exactly where this market dropped from. For those people that are viewing live on the YouTube stream, we came right off that supply zone right around the 4,043 to 4,100 area, 40 to 41
Hmm.
10 area. So that's just what we identify on price charts and how we make our financial decisions here at Online Trading Academy. And it's not just, people a lot of think that you have to base decisions off news and have all this emotional stuff going on in the markets. Well, that's not how you really trade and invest when you have an actual plan. And that's what we talk a lot about on the show here is how to have a plan and making smart investing decisions. So the markets, as you said, I mean, great moves in the markets. It's just how to identify those on a price chart, and that's how you make those decisions, not off of news and fundamental information.
Right. And you've said this over these last several months. To buy and hope is not a strategy. And when you look at that strategy, I mean, I, I was just trying to think. Okay, we've all heard that word, but what's it really mean? And I just looked it up this morning. It said a plan of action. All right. And so it takes the knowledge that you guys give in your classes, which we'll talk about here in a little while, to have that because, knowledge is power. We've all heard that, but also the proper knowledge, right?
You're right. I mean, that's what actually you're kind of alluding to the word skills. Because if
Yep.
you have knowledge, that's great. You can talk about it. But without an actual action plan with it and how to apply it, it does no good. So that's why
Hmm.
you need the skills of trading and investing. And that's what we do at Online Trading Academy is we teach everyday people, all these listeners that are listening to Haystack here every single week, how to make smart investing decisions. And we've had a lot of people, Scott, coming in from this show here and coming into these free investing classes, which we'll give away tickets to here shortly. It's a free investing class to get people started in the market. So we've seen people coming from the show that are brand new to the markets and want to get started. But Scott, we've really been seeing a lot of people coming into the show that to these workshops, these investing classes that have been trading investing and they want more consistency. And that's a plan. That's why you do need a plan, as you were talking about there, in your financial decisions. Because if you're buying and hoping, that's not just a plan, that's just a wish. So,
Right.
what we train and teach at Online Trading Academy is a step by step strategy in the markets. That way, you make smart investing decisions based off of facts and not just a hope. I mean, if you're looking for a hope in extra income, you might as well just buy the lottery ticket. That's kind of what that is. It's very
Yeah.
entertaining, right? You can get
Hmm.
excited about it, but the likelihood of having longevity is pretty unlikely. So, that's why you got to have a plan, steps within that plan, and that's how you take the emotions out of your trading and investing as well is having that those steps helps you be decisive in the markets too. So, everybody that's been calling in and texting in over the past several weeks, congratulations to those people and really taking that next step. I mean, heck, we have. the new year coming up here. We'll have one more show before the New Year's, but
Right.
we have New Year's resolutions coming out, and people are looking to increase their financial literacy. And that's what we do
Hmm.
on Online Trading Academy is increase financial literacy for everyday people that are listening to the show here. All across the country, actually.
Sure. Again, Josh Lillquist is with us, president of Online Trading Academy here in Denver, and you're listening to Investing and Trading Live. You know, we talked about, I think it was a week or so ago, we talked about understanding risk and reward. And I think the risk part is probably what keeps a lot of people, because they don't really understand Online Trading Academy, but that's maybe what's kept them away from getting into the markets, is because they just don't understand that risk. But then they also got to understand the reward of you being in control, right?
I think, I mean, that's important. You do have to understand the risk and reward on any investment that you ever do, whether it's short-term trading or long-term trading. And we're going to be talking a lot about that on the show here today, is how to identify where that might be. How you identify that lowest risk, highest reward, and then highest probability entry points. That's either at or near a turn in price. So that's what we're going to really talk about and dissect here on the show here today, is how to identify those lowest risk opportunities, because you're going to have a little bit of risk in the markets, but that's okay. You have to embrace that, keep it small, and have your rewards or your wins much higher. And that is at that turning point or near that turning point in price. And that's what it comes down to, is supply and demand in the financial markets. Think about it this
Hmm.
way, Scott. If you are, if I'm selling an iPhone, and most people know that an iPhone costs, we'll say, I don't know, $1,500 these days. And if I'm selling this one phone, but I'm really selling it for $500, you're going to have a whole slew of people wanting to buy this phone, and
Sure.
which is a whole bunch of demand. Well, now I have this one phone. I have a lot of demand for it. I can raise the price. I'm gonna sell it for maybe 1,000. We'll have still a lot of demand, maybe a little bit less. But if I get greedy and say I'm gonna sell this $1,500 phone, everybody knows that, for I want to sell it for $2,000. Nobody's gonna want to bid or buy in that phone. Now I have more supply than the demand, so price has to come down. That's how the financial markets work. It's very similar to that. If you have more buyers and sellers, price will go up. More sellers and then buyers, price will go down. And that's what we train and teach at Online Trading Academy, is how to identify that imbalance of supply and demand. And how you find that is on a price chart. And we actually have our own platform that Online Trading Academy has created. It's
Hmm.
called Click. And a platform is where you get your financial information from. Price,
Right.
price is, where it's been, and where it potentially could go in the future. And that's what we train and teach, is how to read that. And it's kind of like very similar to reading a story. Once you can understand the words and read that story, you can determine what happened next at higher probabilities. And that's what we teach at Online Trading Academy, is supply and demand, increasing your odds and probabilities in the markets, and having, as you were talking about, that proper risk to reward, small risk and high reward in the markets.
Absolutely. So, how is the market right now? And what we've kind of been through these last few months for someone to get started.
To get started, it quite frankly doesn't matter what the market is doing. There's opportunities in all directions. And I think that's a good, I'm glad you said it that way, Scott, because a lot of people don't know that there's opportunities in down markets. If you look at the S&P 500 on the year, it's down 20% roughly, depending on when you're listening to the show here. The Dow is down roughly about 10, 11%, depending on when you're listening to the show. The NASDAQ between 30 and 35%. So there's
Hmm.
opportunities as the market goes down. So it's always a great time to get in the markets, because you just want it to move. For a stock to move, or an index to move 20, 30% in a year, that's pretty good. So that's why we talked about just a minute ago on how to identify where to buy and sell in the markets. So there's a strategy called shorting to profit in a down market. And that may be new to a lot of people. It's basically profiting as prices decline. And so now, knowing that there's opportunities in up markets, everybody knows that. Knowing that there's opportunities in down markets, which now people hopefully listening to the show now know that, you don't
Hmm.
care which way the market goes. You just have to identify when you should be doing that. And that's where it goes back to reading that story, where to buy, where to sell, and do that. So the markets have been phenomenal over this past year. We'll be talking a little bit about gold here coming up, but gold, a lot of people think it's a safe haven, hasn't moved at all. In the course of this past year, it's almost exactly flat on the year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, oh, gold is that thing that's supposed to go up when the stock market goes down. Well, it didn't do that. So the correlations or inverse correlations are changing. And that's why at Online Trading Academy, we also evolve with the markets. There's all these crazy strategies you find on, YouTube and all that garbage that's out there. And they're almost outdated. We're going to talk about outdated strategies coming up on here on the show as well. So the markets are phenomenal right now, Scott. And if like I said last week, if I was a dog right now, my tail would be wagging because I'm so excited about the opportunities we have coming up here in the next year as well.
Absolutely. Hey, make 2023 the year that you take control of your financial life. And we've got a great introductory offer, so to speak, with Online Trading Academy. Josh, tell folks how they can come to your class.
Boy, that almost sounds a little bit odd saying 2023, but it's
I
coming
know.
up. It's here. And that's what, let's make 2023 a great year for your finances. We have
Mhm.
investing classes here at our local academy. Great state of the art facility. We got a few different classrooms and we train people how to get in the markets. So if you're brand new to the markets and you want to get started, this class is just for you. If we have a lot of people that come into these classes as well that have been trading sometimes 10, 20, 30 years and are looking for more consistency. This class is also for you because we'll go through those different techniques and strategies. So these classes, they're about 2 hours long. We're seeing a lot of people come into these classes that really, want to. It's only 2 hours, so they really want to make their time use wisely. So 2 hours. We have these during the week. We have these on the weekends, even in the evenings. So we've made this class for anybody to attend. So we make it easy for people to text in and receive seats for this class. So I'm going to give a text number to text in and a keyword. And when you do that, you're going to receive a text back to pick a day. And then we'll make sure we get you a call as well and the details and the address at our academy here. But you can text the word investing right now to the number 210-210. Text investing to the number 210-210. And this could be a great holiday getaway for a lot of listeners to learn about how the financial markets work. If you go between Christmas and New Year's, or if you come into one of our classes right after New Year's, text the word investing right now to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for this class and a special Christmas giveaway. It's a financial quick start kit to help you get started right away.
All right. Folks, look, very few things improve in our lives without action on our part. And whether that may be weight loss, maybe that may be, getting in shape or improving your finances, this is a great opportunity. As Josh just said, just simply text the word investing to 210-210 for your 2 free tickets. They have a myriad of classes all the week, evenings, weekends. So make this the year that's going to be different and your finances improve. So text the word investing to 210-210 now and get your free tickets. Josh, we look forward to the show here right after our break. So folks, don't go anywhere. Investing and Trading Live with Josh Lilquist.